Alright, happy Thursday, good afternoon. So I didn't make a video yesterday. I did actually take trades yesterday, but I took 2 break-even trades. So I decided not to make a video about it. But I took trades earlier in the morning before FOMC. But for the most part, it ended up just being pretty choppy. Trying to think back. I took a trade on MES and just, it was early in the morning as NQ was selling off. I'm not even going to show it. It was basically just a 1 minute fair value gap, and then we started to push lower and chop around, and I just took it off. Because NQ was dumping and ES really wasn't moving. The trade that I took on NQ was here. I took a short in here. I was targeting this low, did not reach it, and I got stopped out at break even there. We were just generating a ton of sell side. I'll just quickly review it. We were generating all of this like low resistance liquidity, like all of these stacked lows here, even over here. And so I was kind of assuming we were going to come down, take that, and then rip. So we held OTE of this range, displaced down, came back to OTE of this range. I had an internal model, took out this high, wicked down, and I just smacked a short right on this breaker here. So this yellow tapped in right on that candle. Literally zero drawdown, and then I just moved my stop to the high, got stopped out. So it is what it is. Not upset about that at all. Trading FOMC morning, probably shouldn't have even traded. But going into today, we just completely ripped to the upside. This all became low resistance liquidity run on a higher time frame. Just absolutely no pullback, just straight line through all of it, to go take out all-time highs again. ES pretty much blasted through its all-time highs, and this morning I didn't take a trade. I took a trade in the PM. We basically just came up, took out all-time highs, and so I was like, alright, I'm not going to trade the AM. So zooming in a bit more, let's talk about what was going on. ES had a pretty nasty chart today. NQ did have a great long setup, so I'll go over that now, but we took out all-time highs. So I saw this setup and I just didn't really want to take it. But you have that 15-minute fair value gap here, which is in OTE of the range, of this most recent range. And then when you zoom in some more, you could see all this liquidity that we had generated right here, this low resistance liquidity. Then we finally tap into the 15-minute, take out all of these lows, bounce up. You're still waiting, fill in OTE of this range, and then we finally have a big displacement candle here, 1 minute fair value gap, which ended up holding, did not reach the ultimate target because we ended up forming SMT at the highs. But if you would have noticed the SMT, you could have scaled out some of your position here, or got stopped out at one of these lows or something like that, for still a great move. So the reason I didn't take this trade was because I was looking at the 15-second here to see if we would have like a internal model, and technically we did. You know, we took out this low here. This is your swing high right here, and then you displaced above it. So that's your market structure shift, and you could have smacked along in here. The problem is we formed equal lows here, and you know, maybe I was just too zoomed in, but I don't want a long with my stop at equal lows. You know, this is a tight stop. I could have easily put a stop you know, below this 1 minute or something like that. But what I really wanted to see was, you know, like if this is white here, boom. If I saw this, right, you take this low like that, and then you wick up, I would have without a doubt smacked along right here, stopped below that low, for sure would have done that, and then, you know, would have had a standard deviation projection like this. You know, the 4 kind of lines up with these highs. Maybe I would have taken it off there or something for like a little great scalp. So, you know, still great trade. Just I wanted to see that internal model and I didn't get it, so I didn't take it. But, you know, we don't end up taking this high, right? So we formed SMT, and then I was sort of waiting for the lunch lows to see what would happen there, because sometimes you take out the lunch lows and then you go take out the lunch highs. So still extremely bullish. I was definitely not going to take like this fair value gap or something like that. I was out on the 5 minute. But the main confluence for this too, other than the SMT, was that ES did not look like it wanted to go higher. If you're looking at ES's chart, you know, we had garbage price action all day, took out this high, and then just immediately started to roll over. And this looks like an extremely clean market maker model here. Buy side of the curve, sell side of the curve, like it just looked very obvious. And so when ES, which was the super bullish one this whole time, does not look bullish anymore, you know, NQ, when it's looking more bearish, like I'm definitely more confident in taking a short here, especially if we just took out all-time highs, SMT at the highs. So yeah. And I didn't do anything until we had this 5 minute here, right? You know, you displace through the lows, you come back, and I was watching this 5 minute, and we basically just had our, you know, this is your institutional order flow entry drill right here. So I'll write that out. That's your 1 tick. Literally, the fair value gap was at 0.5. We came to 0.75 and then dumped. So literally 1 tick. So I was looking at this fair value gap right here, this bullish one. So I'll delete this. We had this bullish fair value gap, right? We just respected consequent encroachment pretty much of this 1 minute wick, this large wick. And then once we took out this high and pushed lower, this is your market structure shift right here. So you have this inverse fair value gap. You also have this 1 minute fair value gap. And this is also your breaker. Boom. And this whole thing is your breaker, right? The down close candle took liquidity, displaced below. So all those 3 PD arrays will smack in one spot. Let me just go back so that I get the exact entry that I had. So it was basically right there. So we came up, sort of wicked it, short, right in there, and it was basically a zero drawdown trade. I didn't have my stop above here. I did have my stop above this 1 minute, just in case we wanted to have, possibly one more rip higher like that, because I did think this looked pretty good. So then if you take the fib right here, standard deviation projection, we still had that 1 minute from earlier that we did end up bouncing from, but that was also in the 1 to 1.5 standard deviation, so you could assume to see some sort of a rebalance there. But I was confident that this looked like sell side of the curve, and this was just the most obvious low here. I was not going to hold till here. Yeah, so this one just lined up with the 4 standard deviation, over a 50-point move. That's good for me. So very clean, took the win and walked. So that was it for today. I think it was just bread and butter sort of setup for me, at least. I like to see things like this. I think the internal model was extremely clean. The only thing that would have made it a little bit cleaner is you could sort of consider this relative equal highs. I mean, we took it by 1 tick. So, realistically, would have been better to see sort of a wick like that, where you clearly take that high. That was another reason why I just put my stop a little higher, just in case we sort of wanted to run this liquidity a little bit more before displacing lower. But external draw lines up with the internal draw. It looks clean. I waited for all of this to get respected. All these early entries, the low risk entries, wait for all of those to get respected, and us to start the sell side of the curve on a higher time frame, like the 5 minute, before then moving on to the 1 minute to look for my entry. So yeah, I think that looked great. There was also many opportunities to get short here, or to even add to the position. So if we're zooming in a bit more, at the same time that this was going on, ES had shifted to the downside, filled this 5 minute fair value gap to the tick, and then started to reject. So I was like, this looks clean, I'm going for it. So great trade in my opinion. Yeah, so this was the 5 minute fair value gap, which we ended up just wicking off of as well. Just to delete my entry, there was tons of places you could have gotten short. Had a 1 minute there. We have a 1 minute here. There was even like a 30-second, if you're zooming in some more. Had a 30-second fair value gap here, which ended up getting respected both times. Plenty of ways you could have handled this. Zoom back out. I mean, I guess this is also a breaker. Came up, took this high, this placed below. This is like a unicorn entry in itself right here in this 1 minute. Smacking a short here. You could have even put stop above that high, or you could have added to a position there, right? Great trade there as well. So yeah, pretty simple too, nothing crazy. It's just a 5 minute model, zoom in, same thing on a 1 minute time frame, you know, target the most obvious draw, and that's that. So with that, you know, I don't really have much else to say. ES also ended up selling off from that 5-minute fair value gap. I didn't even really look at ES all that much because I just don't like the price action on ES. But yeah, you know, we filled that in to a T, and then, you know, also rejected that inverse. You know, had this little 1-minute fair value gap here, which we ended up holding before continuing our move down, forming equal lows here, and then we came back up into this 15-minute imbalance, filled that 15-minute imbalance to the tick as well. We also had a little bit of a volume imbalance in there that we wicked off of as well, and we pretty much just came up there. That was your like turtle soup there, and then we finally sold off to actually take this low here. So yeah, just pretty clean like model in my opinion. And yeah, so with that, guys, hope you did well, hope you made some money. If not, hope you stayed disciplined, and if I take a trade tomorrow, I'll make another video. Have a great night. Peace out.